Welcome back, everyone, into this week's segment of Crime Stoppers. I have Lieutenant Mary Huggins and Lieutenant Carl Carter joining me from the West Point Police Department this morning. Guys, first of all, thank you for stopping by the studio.
Thank you for having us.
So we have a few cases you guys are actually working on, but Miss Mary, let's start with you on our most recent investigation on Morrow Street.
Okay, on the hour of October 6th, in the hours of 2100, which is 9 p.m. that in the night, we received a call from 911 in regards to a shooting. When the officers did arrive on scene, we did find that it was more than just a shooting.
Okay.
It was an armed robbery along with an aggravated assault, and we had two males there that had been shot and injured. Our medical personnel arrived on scene. We were able to get both males moved and treated. We transported them to Baptist here in Columbus, where they were treated for their injuries, and I proceeded behind the ambulance to come over and assist and talk with both victims.
Yes. And at this point, do we know if the suspect and the victims knew each other?
Yes. We believe they knew one another. At this point, maybe on it, that may have had, connections with one another in earlier times.
Yes, ma'am. And so right now we are still looking for that suspect, correct?
Yes, ma'am, we are. We have a lot of leads. We did some interviews, and most important thing, our victims, they're very cooperative, and they coming forth with any information that they receive.
Now, how helpful is that in this type of case? I can imagine that an incident like this can be traumatic for a victim, but for them to continue to work with law enforcement.
It is very important. Most important thing, anytime we have a shooting, it is important for the citizens and the victims to come forth and, give all the information they can. Most of the times, a lot of information that comes from the citizen is what solves our cases. So we try to make sure that they know that it's important that they cooperate with us.
Yes, ma'am. And Mr. Carl, let's also talk about this other case we have where, unfortunately, we did have a fatal victim, correct?
Yes, on October 5th, actually the night prior to this particular shooting that Detective Huggins was speaking about, there was an altercation with an ex-boyfriend and a current boyfriend, where the ex-boyfriend came to the home and tried to enter the home and was faced with just gunfire from actually trying to enter the house. And like we just mentioned before, unfortunately, he did suffer a fatal gunshot wound as a result of him coming to the house at that time.
Yes. And with this, we are still looking for the suspect, correct?
No, that suspect has been apprehended and is currently serving time in the Clay County Jail.
Yes.
Awaiting for additional court proceedings.
Now, would this type of case maybe be considered a possible domestic violence call at first, whenever you first mentioned boyfriends?
Yeah, we always think about domestic situations when we hear about girlfriend-boyfriend situations, and those could also can be violent for the officers as well when we enter those type of scenes, because emotions are high. You don't know what actually you're walking into with those particular situations. So yes, we treat those with the utmost consideration and care when we go to those calls.
Sir. And then we also actually had an armed robbery. And if you guys do not follow West Point Police, they are always posting on their social media. Quickly, before we run out of time, can we talk about that?
You said the armed robbery?
Yes, sir.
The armed robbery actually happened with the shooting that happened on Morrow. So those two particular situations happened at the same time. And we also did have a grand larceny situation, a grand larceny situation with the community counseling building where a vehicle was stolen. And we also, a few weeks prior to that, we had a vandalism situation where some city property was involved and was damaged at one of the parks in the city of West Point.
Yes, sir. So guys, if y'all have any information on any of these cases, you can always contact West Point Police or send an anonymous tip on Crime Stoppers. Those tips that lead to an arrest could result in a cash reward. Guys, thanks so much for stopping by. Great information this morning. We'll be right back.